going on, everybody? Anyone coming into this feed? This is an unannounced little session here. I like doing these. Seem to catch a few people, then come and join me or listen in while they're working. So I like doing these. If you didn't check the description, I'm on day 8 of having COVID. I feel really weak. I'm hoping I can sit in front of this desk for a while, get some work done. I'm behind a week now. So that's what I'm doing. Just trying to catch up on some work. I've got a project that's partially done in Twinmotion. Need to start kind of compositing shots, and then I might pick out some decor based on the composite of my shots. I'm going to be doing a video walkthrough for this project. I'm going to be doing an interior walkthrough, an exterior walkthrough, a bunch of stills. Hoping I can talk through this without too many problems. Yeah, I think I picked up every symptom I've even heard of, some that I haven't heard of. So, and I just now feel well enough to sit in front of the desk again. So that's what we're doing. Haven't really dialed in my setup yet. I am back in my home. People don't know this, but I haven't been in my home for 7 months. So I missed it here. I think I missed it here. It turned into my jail cell this last week, but you know. All right, so here's my project. Obviously, we've got something going on with my camera settings. Looks like I was compositing for some stills here. So let's switch this back to an 80 field of view, and then depth of field turn off. We're going to be doing everything in this project with a path tracer. So with that in mind, a lot of the colors and everything not going to look accurate until you actually pull that path tracer mode. And I'm going to actually make sure that I've got this set to a low path trace setting. There we go. I'll go to a low path trace setting and a denoiser. There we go. So you can see I started doing the landscape on this project. It looks okay. Needs some work. Buddy, thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I remember you from last time we did a live feed. Cool. I planned on just kind of working casually, but you know, anybody watching this has an interest in Twinmotion, wants to learn some of the tricks that I use to create some of these scenes in Twinmotion, by all means, come chime in. I'm using a couple of my free houses that I've put together, and that's just to create kind of a realistic environment. I need to build this environment out a little bit more. You can see here in the front yard, it's looking a little, I don't know, it's looking okay, not great, needs to improve. Got this massive rock in the backyard, but I don't think that makes any sense. We're going to probably redo that. Want to be able to get some of these interior exterior shots to look really nice. And they look okay. Still not quite happy with the way trees look in Twinmotion. They could be a lot better. Also not happy with doors in Chief. I can't wait till they give us some tools to create better looking doors. I might actually go through and recreate these doors, but you know what? There's no money in the budget for this particular project, so probably not. So I'm going to avoid getting doors in the shots for as much as possible for any of the still shots. For the video walkthroughs, that should be fine. Twinmotion does this really weird, almost like metal thing going on here in the shot. where everything looks like it's got a weird color and sheen to it. So it's really hard to understand how to adjust for this on the fly without constantly hitting your path tracer button to see what final product's going to be. So at some point in that 2022 update, they messed with something in just the standard rendering that just doesn't look quite right. So it ends up getting really strange. And then just keeping in mind when you're doing the path tracer, if you have the denoiser on, then you're always going to get this kind of painterly look as you're previewing things, knowing that you're going to have to, up the resolution to 4K on your export, and then maybe even increase the sample rate on the path tracer so that you get rid of this painterly look. So a couple things to note. I've got a brief on this project that I need to take a look at. I did some decor just in the built-ins. Need to make sure that the built-ins are actually the right color. This is my fireplace tool. Man, has that been nice. For this project, I got to use it for the first time in practical use for a project which I hadn't been able to do yet. And I got to do it on 2 separate fireplaces and 2 totally different fireplace styles. And it worked beautifully. So I was really happy having built those tools out and getting to use them finally. And then my fireplace stack, it looks pretty good. Not too bad. I might want to lower this whole stack down. Looks like also on the import, I've got a bunch of different terrain features that I don't care for. So we'll get rid of them. That was from the client's model. I did some fixing of the client's model. The original client's model had, they had a deck here on the upper level. And then I kind of pointed out that that deck doesn't make any sense, that it wasn't necessarily even possible to build the way that it was constructed. It had a heavy cantilever, which would have been problematic. This project is set to have TGI floor joists. You can only really cantilever on a non-live load about 4 feet on a TGI. That's at 11 7/8. And anyways, a little back and forth with the client got us to just delete that a deck that was here and then pull this roof line across and shorten these windows. So that was a big change. I added my own 3D gutters that look pretty nice. They come with a drip edge. I added an additional drip edge on the side here. Just little details that make a difference, especially when we go to render this out at 4K. You see those little details. I added the downspouts, obviously. And then now I'm just working on making this look realistic. And so this session, I don't know, you're going to see a lot of movement on this session. I plan on working very casually. I'm tired. I'm a little bit winded. So I just want to work through this at a casual pace. And I'm just not going to make my typical margin because of that, but I'm not too worried about it. The main thing is I really want to do a study. I want to study, I want to come up with a way to make these scenes look more realistic. You can do a lot faking shots, foreground, background, full sky replacements. I'll give you just a show of what the rough shot was to start. I did some rough renderings, some check renderings, just to take a look at what we could get out of this shot with a little bit of work in Photoshop. And I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Obviously, if I was submitting this as a final image, I'm going to fix a lot of this foreground stuff. I've found that the bokeh effect has really degraded in the recent version of Twinmotion. You've got a lot of artifacting, which almost makes me want to fake my own field of view or my depth of field settings in Photoshop, as opposed to letting Twinmotion do it, because this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all, which means I got to go in and re-blur this and fix this. But the other thing that I would fix is I would fix these curb cuts. They're a little too sharp. You know, they just don't look realistic. I could do that in the software. That's kind of a pain though. Probably not. Probably just do it in post, and that's easy enough. I like the composition of this shot. Feels very realistic. I know a lot of rendering artists, they will do a full clearing at the front of a house to present the whole house. It's just not my style. I prefer looking at things that look like they might actually be like this in real life, right? Like, you know, you're never going to get a full frontage here. You're going to have landscaping in the way, so that as you drive past and catch different angles, you see different things. So I like this particular style that I've got going on here. I need to fix some parallelism so that this, like as if you had a tilt shift lens on a camera, so that, you know, your side verticals are straight up and down. You might put in a lens profile here to adjust for the type of lens that it is built into Photoshop. So a couple different tricks there I need to still do yet. But again, these were just check renders. This is a check render of the backyard. I really love the breakaway in the landscaping here. I think this ended up really nice. So I want to work around that. I still think there's some more things to do with the landscaping, but I really do like the way this backyard's coming together. It feels realistic, like a coastal home should look. So kind of cool. I noticed the siding is supposed to be a lap siding, and the normal map is really doing its job there. It's doing a really nice job. And then if you guys haven't, if you drill down through, you know, the Rabbit Design feed on Facebook, or in fact, if you just go to my website for the symbols and content section, you should be able to find this roof. But I think I only have it for Chief Architect. So when you install it in Chief Architect and you use your Adjust Materials tool, you could find all the original maps for this and then rebuild it in Twinmotion. But you know what? Maybe I'll just rebuild this and bring this up for the next Free Symbol Friday and give you guys this Twinmotion roof material, because, I mean, look at it. It looks great. It looks fantastic. It's my best roof material I've ever created. It's taken so many hours to get it to look like this, because roofs are really challenging. Roof materials are really challenging. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's see what I can get going here. What do you got, Doug? I see a comment. What do you got? This is great. Maybe I can keep up with you. Nice. All right. Are you in Twinmotion, Doug? I can't remember. I'm having trouble keeping track of people lately. I've got a lot of conversations have been going on this year, which is fantastic. I love how many people are reaching out to me and having questions for me and stuff. But yeah, having trouble keeping track of who's in what software and what they're doing with it, and yeah, etc. So I want to start pimping out the decor in here and kind of figuring out what I want to do. So this is going to be a walkthrough. Let me actually switch this. You know, on our bottom corner here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, bottom. Oh, we've got half the screen cut off, don't we? Well, that's no fun. Let me see if I can change that. There we go. We bumped it up just one. Let's bump it up one more. Let's see if we can get, yep, now we got the full screen there. Okay. So bottom corner here, in this middle section tab, I should say, we can come up with our lighting, camera, etc. I'm going to click on my camera and I'm going to change my field of view. I'm going to pump this up even more. Let's go ahead and make it 100. That allows me to really see the scene. I'm never going to shoot a camera at 100 field of view, but it's nice for compositing. So there we go. And then this is a live, let's see, I exported from Chief Architect, imported into Twinmotion. And then if we get into this first, let's just call it, I'm going to call it panel the same way we call Chief Architect's tabs panels. So first panel here is the import panel. And you can see here I've got 5 main models that have been imported into this scene. And the first one is the Chief Architect model. Now, if I hit the refresh button, it's going to pull again from the 3ds file that I exported from Chief. So what that means is if I need to fix something in Chief, I can re-export it so long as I overwrite with the same name. Then I can just hit the refresh button and Twinmotion is automatically going to bring this in. Now there's a trick to it that I haven't figured out yet. And that is when you hit the refresh button, certain materials will retain the modifications you did to those materials. Other materials get replaced. And I don't know what the trick is for that. And I think it has something to do with when you export as 3ds. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. We'll get into this project file. When we export as 3ds and then I re-export as 3ds, what you can see here is we've got a lot of materials that are duplicated over and over again. I've actually re-exported this scene 9 times. So I think that's the problem. I think I need to actually go and delete all these materials before I re-export. And in that way, Twinmotion may keep my modifications to the materials so that it doesn't revert it back to original when I re-import. Because that's nice. Otherwise, you're redoing some work. And I mean, just to kind of combat that is I make a project folder in my Twinmotion library and I save materials that I've built out so that in case they do get replaced, it's just a quick drag and drop. So anyways, here we go. We've got, I need to modify this floor, get some reflection in there. I've got a full map for this. Built this material out in Chief and it looks fantastic. So when it's done right, when it's rendered. Something about, this is my hunch, by the way. There's no documentation about what I'm about to say. And it's in regards to roughness. Shoot, I know that my overlay is in the way. Maybe we'll turn that overlay off because our bottom tray is kind of important so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let's see if I can't kick this off. Oh, let's see, control panel, let's do that. Oh, that takes away my webcam too. Let's see here. One more thing there in the mouse. There we go. Now we can see that bottom section there. Unfortunately, you're not going to see my key swipes. I don't think that's a big deal in Twinmotion. All right. So, back to this. Reflection in Twinmotion. I'm pretty sure the way Twinmotion works is at 50%, you are using the grayscale values of your roughness map the way it's intended, okay? And then going below or above 50% just exaggerates that effect. So if you did your roughness map correct, 50% should be perfect. If not, then you can adjust it from there. So keep your reflection at 50% if in fact you do have a roughness map that is built appropriately. Then I'm going to hit my settings tab to get to my bump section, and I'm going to hit the little more button at the very bottom, tiny little more button, so that I can put in a normal map, which I have one built out already. And then I'm not going to use parallax. Parallax, we can get some heavy displacement out of textures. So that's kind of a really cool trick actually, but I'm not going to use it for flooring. Flooring should be just a subtle effect. And so we've got our bump map set to probably 100% right off the bat. Yes, we do. I'm going to go back 2 levels and I'm going to hit the more category on the color here. And then I might throw in a little bit of grunge, and all that's going to do is just throw a little dirt on the ground is essentially all that's going to do. And then I want to just check this out, see what this looks like with a path tracer. Like I said, something happened weird in PBR in this version 2022.2. And so the PBR version of these views is just it's weird. It's hard to gauge what's happening. So anyways, this looks good for the main run here. You can see here over in the corner, we've got that roughness is built just the way I want it to. That really does look pretty realistic. Let's just pan this camera around, see if we can't get that reflection of the sky off of this floor. And this is using, path tracer, maybe 8 bounces per sample. Yeah, that floor is looking pretty good. If I increased the sample rate, this is only going to look better. As I increase resolution, it's only going to look even that much better. This is a custom floor I built. I might give this away at some point. I don't think you can find a hickory floor like this for purchase anywhere. I tried. I couldn't find it, so I had to make it myself. Took a bit of time. But it came out really, really nice. I'm happy I've got it now. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. You can see here just on the top of this symbol, we've got some funny mapping going on. We've got some split triangles here, some vector, things happening here. Something I will do sometimes is we'll switch. If you haven't seen my Twinmotion tutorial series on this, which it's old, but I think it's aged well, is that you can change from your object view UV mapping, which is just, whatever your imported UV mapping is, to a cubic UV, cylindrical UV, or, spherical UV. So a cubic UV might get you some better mapping on these chairs. Something to keep in mind. I have... I think it's video number 6 in the series explains what that is and how that works, and shows a really nice example of it, so that you better understand it. In any case, anytime you've got a situation like this where these chairs don't quite look right, the only thing I'd tell you to do is, it used to be that Twinmotion had a glitch when you switched to cubic UV, applied a texture, and then tried to undo your work. It was then always going to be on cubic UV, and you could not revert back to object UV without re-importing the symbols. So keep that in mind. You like to save before you try something like that, and then you revert back if you need to. All right, what do we got, Doug? Thanks for this. Stop trying to work and you have my undivided attention. Okay. Man, put pressure on me. Oh, sorry for the coughs, guys. I'll try to keep that out on the microphone. Kitchen design. So still just learning and playing around with the default lighting materials to get the hang of the program. Okay. I personally like Chief's interior renderings. I think they're fantastic. Of course, I know a lot of tricks for that stuff, and I know that you can get some kind of better out-of-the-box experience renderings in Twinmotion quite easily. I think that the quality always has this. I mean, you guys are seeing it right now. Let's just compose another shot of this kitchen real quick. Twinmotion puts this color grading into the shot that's just a little funny to me. It's got a lot of red, not enough cyan, and you can combat that with filters. So if we come into our third panel here, which is called settings, boy, what a dumb name, redundant name anyways. And if we get into camera and then visual effects, we can get in here into, let's see, is it going to be filters or color gradients? Probably color gradients. And then you can switch type. So you might be able to, counteract some of the effects of this overall weird orangey kind of color grading. But their filters are a little bit sensational. I don't know that I love them. Here's none. That might actually be a little bit better. I had a filter on there. Yeah, let's stick to none for a second here. And you can change saturation, contrast. Overall, I'm not happy with color qualities on Twinmotion, so I do a lot of editing in post. But for this, like I said, we're doing some video walkthrough, so I'm gonna have to stick with this. This client did pay for kind of a premium service from me, so I ended up, creating a couple of symbols. One is these lights. Might give these away. Built them for Chief and Twinmotion. And then you might run into some issues like this, where this thing keeps just kind of disappearing. But the other problem with fixtures like this is you can see just how well Chief Architect does at boy, I used to know the technical term for this, but basically smoothing. It's not NURBS based. I can't remember what the name of it is called, but it's taking any in Chief Architect by default. It's going to pick a value to smooth for any kind of tangent angles that are less than a certain amount in your symbol classification within Chief Architect. So whereas this symbol was smooth in Chief Architect, you bring it into Twinmotion, and Twinmotion doesn't have that smoothing. You're going to get a really faceted fixture. So you've either just got to be okay with that, which, in this case, this looks awful, or you've got to replace the symbol or improve it. White glass is the material here. So sometimes switching to an item glass can make a little bit of a difference. I don't want to. I just want to make sure that this material might be applied to some other material in the model. So just to make sure, I'm going to switch right here to apply to object versus replace material. And that means it's just going to apply to this individual object. So I'm going to use the item glass, and you can see immediately we got rid of a little bit of that faceting. And then the next thing is it looks like it's got a metal base to it. So put that to the metal base, and then you can see we've got a couple of light bulbs here. I might want to put a neon to this light. I got to break the plane of that outer section there. We're still in just replace material mode. So I'll get into neons, and I'll apply neon 1 to that light. You notice the little bumps on the chair material early on, yeah. Oh, what happened? That was funny. Oh, the other thing I'll say about Twinmotion, save often. Man, does this program like to crash at the weirdest times. It really does. Save often. I will say the 2022.2 version changed something in its saving methods, because it takes about a quarter of the time that it used to take for saving. All right, so let's just take a look at what that fixture looks like now. That fixture looks a lot better, but ultimately it doesn't look all that great, right? It's not what you want to see. So I'm probably going to put some kind of a more of a like a powder, like a, oh, what do you call it? A frosted glass on the exterior there. Fine glass, glass, sticker. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, still doesn't look good. Rather just get rid of it. I mean, yeah, isn't that funny looking? You could probably probably put a light source in there. Might make a difference. I have pre-saved light sources. For some reason, Twinmotion's settings on lights are like really blown out, and and so they don't match your ISO and exposure settings for the scene. It's really strange. I don't know why. So I have my own lights that I save in my own library, which is in my model section. I've got an omnidirectional light here, and I'll just pop this up just on the outside here, and it's set to have shadows. So, and there we go. Now I can grab it and kind of place it up into the light itself. It's going to create some shadows. I might actually not want shadows turned on for this. I could, of course, always put in, I mean, it's, you know, it's going to take up more resources, but I could put in 2 lights just like it has it. But you see, it's creating some kind of shadow based on something there. Maybe just adjust it a little bit and then shift it over. Make an instance. One big thing about Twinmotion for me is you got to keep an organized scene. I know that I haven't been keeping this organized like I usually do. So I need to come in here and actually fix a bunch of stuff, because I was working on the exterior and I did a terrible, terrible job at keeping this organized. And you can see it's a massive scene right now. A little bit organized. A lot of the landscape things just aren't in place. So this stuff should all be in dining room or living room, just like this, books. Pretty much everything to here. There we go. This makes it so that if your system is slowing down at all, you can cut off some of these things, and it's only going to process those things that are visible. So you can manage a massive, massive scene in this way. You can also click on sections frame by frame in video, so that you can, you know, keep this managed quite well in that way. I believe the rest of this is just exterior. So this is all going to go in landscaping. And there is a point to, you know, changing between far off distance shot landscaping versus near landscaping, especially if you're doing a massive, massive, massive scene. I mean, if we take a look at statistics, I can tell we've got a slowdown happening right now. What are we at? 56 million polygons. That's a big scene. So my 3080 card's going to be hurting. Mobile card. Houses is going to be in landscaping. Sure. In fact, almost all this. There. So now it's easy for me to just turn off that exterior landscaping, and we're going to immediately get some speed back. You know, now you can see the exterior is gone. Much nicer to fly around now. Using a 3D mouse, I have mine programmed to do a set of actions. It makes it a lot easier for me to maneuver and manipulate. I'm getting big lag. Not sure why. Oh, nice. Very nice. Boy, that's an old pack. Yeah, that's actually probably been updated 3 or 4 times. Cool. I'm glad that people are still using that. It's funny. I know in that pack there's a drywall texture, and it has an ambient occlusion map in the drywall texture that is a gradient map, and it's meant to be put on 8 or 9 foot ceilings. And someone posted needed some help because they had some weird tiling effect on their drywall, and that's what it was from. Was they were using my drywall texture from that pack up in a stairwell. So pretty funny. Well, let's see. How do I zoom in this faster? Let's see. I think I hold shift and yep. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get upstairs. I'm feeling a little drained on the downstairs. Oh, and you know what I know I forgot to do? I didn't build out the showers for this project. So here we go. We've got a perfect example of when I might need to do some replacements here. So I need to fix that shower. I think I need to fix this shower too. Did I do this one? I did this one. Maybe. Maybe not. Doesn't look like I did. Boy, the coloring in this is just terrible. All right, so what happened in here? Maybe I did it. This just needs to be... Here's the problem, though. This can't be a tiled room. The other thing is I didn't open the door. Yeah, I got all kinds of problems here. So we need to get back into Chief Architect to figure that stuff out. That, and I didn't touch the sinks or anything. This is all built-in stuff that looks terrible. So, all right. So I'm going to save. We're going to get back into Chief. We're going to show you how this works so that we can re-update a scene. It's kind of a valuable thing to learn how to do. One of these days, I'm hoping Chief figures out its memory leaks, because we can only do this so many times before I got to reboot the machine. And then we lose our live feed, right? Okay. Level. And maybe I'll just do a perspective floor overview. You can see here how I cut the terrain. This is standard for me when I'm building out for Twinmotion. Is I'll cut away the terrain just to adjust around the house. Makes it easier for me to match up Twinmotion's terrain. And then because Twinmotion's terrain is all triangles and you can't specify the number of triangles, I don't think that once you get close to a hard drop like this at the curb, it's pretty much impossible to do that in Twinmotion. So you got to fake some things. So anyways, are you opening doors for Twinmotion? Yes, I am. I go through and open all path of travel doors, anything I want to see. So I'm opening all this. The other thing I do is I remove hardware. So when you look at this funny little happening. When you remove the hardware, there's a problem with the way Chief exports its doors. It exports in component assemblies using 3ds method, okay? And it will export the door panel separately from the hardware. and the hardware is exported as part of the jam, which makes it so that you can't animate the door swing without taking it into another program like Blender or SketchUp and breaking up those components and reassembling them so that the hardware is attached to the door. So I'd rather just remove the hardware altogether. It makes it a lot easier. And then I'm either going to spend the time to add hardware back, which more often than not, I'm not going to. So, and that's in my contracts, is I'm just going to tell my client, you're going to lose the hardware on all your doors unless you want to pay a little bit extra for me to process and add them back in. It's just a fact of the matter. And it happens occasionally that people really want to see that, and I'll go through the effort to do that. Or I'll just do a full door replacement. So you can see here, there's no hardware on this door. And I don't know why I haven't yet, but I just need to build out a set of hardware and import it into Twinmotion and have it as a model that I can just apply to a door, and then that would be really simple. So no reason I shouldn't do that. I really should. Maybe I'll do it on this session. Who knows? So I leave the furniture in here just so I have a reference of how they had their furnishings arranged. This is kind of funny. You're just going to sit in front of a window and look at the view. I'd rather be downstairs on the deck, or who knows, or down in the sunroom, but I don't know, kind of a funny thing. So, yeah. They've got a kind of a walk-in shower kind of deal going here, and I'm just going to use my shower tools to rebuild this. So upgraded to 1080 stream, got the pro version of StreamYard. So you guys should be seeing a better quality stream for once. It's been months and months of terrible quality stream, so hoping that's an improvement. All right, there's my curb. I'm imagining they want a curb. And then door. Funny that it's butt all the way up casing. These are the little details I run into all the time, and I'll send out an email to the client and let them know this is not something I would do in real life, right? So it's problematic, right? It just doesn't look good. There's no way you would put a shower door that's a double swing shower door up against casing like that. It just doesn't work. So, I mean, you could pull this back and put a panel there. That might be helpful. Well, I have to remember why it is that this cuts away. Oh, what would be the method there to get rid of that? That's a good question. I suppose I could open this up. Might be able to get away with just changing wall type, define, copy it, checking partition wall. Does that do anything for me? It does, but nothing really great. Look at that ugliness. Okay, let's undo that. Still knocks it down to 720, huh? Or is that just its automatic streaming setting? I felt like they'll do greater than 720. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Ethan, you know of any other platforms I should stream on that would be even better? I feel like YouTube's pretty money for the most part. You guys can see my notes here to the client. And we're past those, so. Oh, this is not my typical wall. Maybe I want to change that. And that's problematic. Look at that weird little. I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. Whoa. That's a fun little glitch. This is a very goofy house. I don't know how they're going to construct some of the sections of this house. Not even sure that it's feasible. This is problematic. I'm just going to switch to my half wall. Figure out what's going on here. You're also clueless. You're supposed to be my my tech guy for this stuff, Ethan. I mean, you're the only one that's ever complained about this stuff. I just keep spending more money to make you happy. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. All right, what do we got here? That's a funny little detail. Tile all the way up. What do you think? That looks like it's a wall. It's not even a backsplash. So let's build this the way I would build a shower. Let's put a backsplash on it. That shower head looks extraordinarily high. There we go. Now we got a little mortar bed. And there is backsplash. Man, I wish they would do same thing they did in roofs where the overlap just cuts the excess. Boy, would that be nice if they got that same thing going on. I love that feature with roofs. Just trying to throw you under the bus. That's it. I don't know why StreamYard puts such a huge banner. It's like it just assumes you guys are 90 years old and need like 100 font. Don't you think they would have like a what would they have in here? A niche or a bench or something? All right, I don't think we need the line overlay anymore. It just slows everything down. Can't wait till Chief figures out how to speed that back up again. That'd be nice. I feel like this tile should line up with the top of the wall. I feel like that wall should have a wall cap. Let's see, we're in the, this is in the x-axis, and it should go half an inch this way. We'll just do it from here. Inch. And we'll bring it down. Okay, we're getting better. I could probably avoid this angle cut somehow. But instead, we'll just do a little short return here. That makes a little more sense. Let's see what that looks like. We're going to ditch this again. Oops, but that's okay. We'll do it up. We'll throw it on there again. I'm still feeling a little rough. Okay, pop this back to there. Yep. These two aren't aligned. We should align them. And to do that, I need to show the lower wall. I'm going to show the lower wall so I can line this up. Let's turn off the line weights. And that way, I can pop that just perfectly. Oops. All right, let's see what that looks like. Better. Now what's the issue? We're missing baseboard here. Room moldings exterior. Oh, it's saying that's the exterior side. So no room moldings. Interior. Did that work? There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, that's getting there. Now for this weird little breakaway, something to do with wall joinery issues. I'm actually no pro at this. I always run into this problem. It's always a different solution. Are you modeling the plan in Twinmotion, and does it take those backsplash edits to the CA plan? No, we're in Chief Architect right now, Doug. Plan. Does it take those backsplash edits to the CA plan? No, we're in the CA plan, and we're doing the edits right now in CA, and then we're going to re-export and then refresh on the Twinmotion side, which should get me what I want here. So the next thing is I got to figure out what's going on with joinery on this, and I probably want to show lower wall again. Type, show lower wall. Lower wall is the one that's kind of cutting away for some reason. And it's not giving me my edit intersections that I want here. It's showing that I have intersections. Now, I might just say, let me just get off the island and fix this with a P solid, because this is just a rendering gig, and I don't truly need to show this the way it, the way I want it to be shown. So I might just fill this in with a solid. I don't feel like fighting it. Not in the mood for fighting it. Let's call it 40 inches, blah, 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 blah. Oops, not 40-inch width. Let's try that again. Close enough. Paint it. Yep. Uh-oh, I lose my webcam. Looks like I lost my webcam. Yep, we lost my webcam. Don't know why. Device rebooting. Fun stuff. Yeah, webcam's frozen. I'm using a spare phone as my webcam, and it just rebooted for some reason. Not sure why. So, anyways, yeah, this is looking pretty good enough for the people I roll with. I mean, I'm barely gonna get this in shot, anyways, as we walk through a full project. So, looks like someone tried to shrink this tub. I guarantee that's what happened, and the stretch planes were off. See what this is looking like here. What happened here? Yeah, they had a 0-inch stretch plane. So weird. So if we open this up, 59-inch, let's call it a 60-inch width tub. Okay. Now we're going to change it. We're going to make it like 70 inches. Look at that. Doesn't that look better? Looks a lot better to me. So we want it to be 60 inches, but we need to modify that stretch plane, or remove that stretch plane is really what you need to do. So uncheck the stretch plane, and now I can concentrically resize it at 5 inches on either side. Right, tab or enter, 5 inches on either side. Now we don't have that graphical anomaly. Bam, easy fix. Okay. Look at these stupid sinks. We'll have to replace these. See if I've got some ready. Oh, let's see. I like this better. That's nicer. Let's see what we do with that. Yeah, this is a weird thing lately. The cuts that are happening in these countertops is really strange. But I like the way this looks, so we'll make it work. So let me show this in the browser. I want to have this offset change instead of that 1.5-inch offset. So we're going to open this up. We'll open up the symbol class. And in our 3D panel, I'm going to take away, what am I going to take away? Show the bounding box. So you can see the bounding box. There it is, right? So we want to decrease this offset. So we want to add 3/4 of an inch plus 3/4 of an inch. There we go. Raise it up a little bit. That's more appropriate. Now I'll tab into this, bring it forward maybe an inch. 1.5 maybe. And then let's see, can we change this countertop hole? Maybe if we convert, let's add this sink to the other one too. Brought it 1.5 inches. Brought it 1.5 inches forward. Let's select this cabinet, and convert to custom countertop. And then we should be able to, oh, that didn't work, did it? Custom countertop, buddy. Oh, this one. There we go. Okay. So now won't let me select anything. Why is that? This is not my plan, so assuming we've got some weirdness in our layer settings. Cabinets, countertops, yes, countertops work. There it is. That was weird. Huh. Not really letting me select the whole, because I want to be able to use the fillet tool. Boy, that's strange. Acting very odd. Is this filler sticking out? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, it is. Boy, it won't just let me click on any part of the countertop, only the front face. Very strange. And it won't let me. Can I fillet edges? No, that's annoying. I want to make my own hole in countertop. So let's see if we can do it in this view. Can we fillet an edge? No, not gonna let me, huh? Too bad. I don't like the look of that, but I think I might have to just deal with it. So the other thing I could do is modify that symbol some more and kind of fake it another way. So open symbol class, sizing, and I'm going to change the overall width of this by, oh, I don't know, 1/2 inch on either side, so 1 inch. So we'll subtract 1 inch from our bounding box, subtract 1 inch from our depth bounding box, except for the depth means that we need to change the offset. So -1/2, nope, +1/2. Go. Now let's see what it looks like. Looks funny. If I delete this and then undo, happens. Let's see, I made the bounding box smaller. I did that the opposite way. I should have. Did I not? No, I did it right. Need to even make it smaller to get those corners tucked in. Ugh, this is just not a great symbol. Let's go over the top. Let's go an overmount. I just wasted a bunch of time. You guys still watching? Why? Just wasted a bunch of time. Doug, I hope I don't still have your undivided attention. I feel like countertops aren't working the way they used to. I used to be able to cut and make my own holes however I felt fit to. Jeez, that was a pain in the butt for nothing. All right, what do we got for faucets? Yeah, that works. All right, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. Doable. Next. So open this up open it up again. If I don't want it animated, I can leave the hardware on there. I don't think I need it animated, so we'll leave the hardware on there. This is a goofy mirror. It's just to, I have a catalog, RD mirror. That's a nice looking one, huh? I don't know what's happening here. Where is it placing it? Why is it placing it downstairs? Man, some weird glitchy stuff happening today. Oh, my symbol's just screwed up. It's sideways. Look at that. Isn't that silly? It's sideways or it needs to have its block regenerated. That's what it was. Okay. And it needs to change its height off the ground. Yeah, all kinds of problems here. Let's fix this real quick. This is how I get a killer catalog. There we go. Now open object in library and set height off floor, finish floor to top, finish floor to bottom. Let's just say 54. High, but whatever. There we go. Much better. Okay. You think you're learning all my tricks. That's good. That's the whole point, right? One of these days, you guys are all going to be way better than I am in teaching me stuff. Actually, you guys already do that. I learned so much from everybody here. All the time. Ethan has a ton of tricks, but he never shares them. All right, same thing. Another shower. Look how slot. This is how my models always come to me, by the way. They want me to render out, the house. And it's great if I just give you a render price, but the reason my renderings look good is I fix everything. You got to fix all this stuff. So many goofy looking things going on in this plan. Drives the price up. No one's ever happy about that. But hey, you want it to look to that level, we got to fix them. Which is exactly why I built all these toolkits out. Some of you guys own these toolkits now. Like how a surgeon removes a kidney. Hopefully a good surgeon. All right, let's drop in my bath toolkit on this one. This is one of my favorite things I ever built out, besides the kitchen. Kitchen quick tools. I think everybody watching this right now has my quick tools, kitchen quick tools, I think. Man, it's still my favorite to this day. Like, just count the money I made on building that kit and being able to throw together kitchens on the fly. What a benefit that's been. pay for? Yeah. What, for the kidney surgeon? I was thinking excuse me. I was thinking I was going to need some new kidneys, man. COVID, whew, my kidneys hurt. Big pain in my kidneys. My left kidney. Spiking pain. It was not fun. What do you think they were trying to do here? What's going on? Oh, that's my symbol. I can get rid of that. What were they doing? Their wand is way up high. Okay, so what do you think? Look at this. These switch locations. That's not going to go there. What are you doing? Funny. This was supposed to be drywall, so we'll fix the exterior side or interior side. Dr. Moose, yeah. Yeah. I've been in the software a long time. I feel so fortunate to have picked a software so many years ago that would stand the test of time. Like, I feel like you've, hit the lotto with that, right? It's incredible that Chief has lasted this long. What's going on here? I've never had an issue with this wall assembly cutting into a neighboring wall. It's very strange. This is new to me, so I don't know what's going on with that. I might have to do another cheetah return wall here. I don't like it, but we'll stick with it. Maybe this has something to do with that new update they did. Yeah, what is this wall assembly? It's weird too. It's got a bunch of weird layers to it. Interior for tile one side. Oh, but their tile one side is on the wrong side? Let's see here. Yeah, they've got this wall backwards. That's problem number one, and then they just painted it. I just want to paint an interior wall. Take this in here. Let's just do that instead. Whew. Can you edit the wall layers? Yeah, possibly. I just don't know what's happening here. This is bizarre. Like, what is this? I don't understand what that is at all. This is totally new. Some new weird thing. What happens when you delete it? It's that whole section, that whole curve? No, that was some... We had a blackout on his feed there for a second. Well, I'm the one pinning the chat messages, so I might have to do that. It doesn't just automatically pop up. In case you didn't know that. All right. So this is getting closer to what it was supposed to be. Let's put backsplash on here. Oh, that little cut at the top. Just enough to be annoying, huh? There we go. Simplify polyline. And bring it back down. Slow move. Slow moving. Oh, what is happening now? Come on. What is that about? Oh, just get out of here. All right. Let's try that again. Yeah, exactly, Ethan. Just pinning your conversations for you. Yeah, it'd be nice if there was some kind of algorithm for what we wanted to see on screen versus not. I mean, I know on the Chief Experts Dan Bowman's feed, sometimes stuff comes up and it's like, oh man, we don't want to put that on the screen. No one cares about that. All right, so what do we think? What was this wall height supposed to be? It wasn't a full height wall, so it needed to be a railing. Rail style panel, set it to solid, get into Newell's balusters panel and set this to maybe 80 inches and call it a day. Maybe it's a little higher than 80 inches. Now, as tempting as it is to drag this up, I never do. It always ends up causing problems when you manually drag walls. All right, let me paint the whole room one color. And I think I'm done prepping for this. Only other thing is, well, let's paint the wall cap. Let's paint component side of this. There we go. Paint this on that. There we go. It's looking all right. Not my best work, but this is going to be in the shot for such little time. It's a great thing to know when you're doing these renderings, is knowing how to kind of get around problems that you don't need to spend time on, right? Because they're not even going to be in shot long enough to matter. So I'm going to throw a niche in here. You know, it seems like this project is a little under designed. So usually I will go and touch up and do some of my own design, add in some features. You can see here the backsplash didn't cut for that niche tool that I have. So if I could just try like a rebuild, but I could also just do a delete and then redo, and then that niche will show up. So there you go. Throw a little wall niche in there, get a little flavor for this room. You guys probably know about my shelf stuff. It's still for free, I think, on the website, because pretty soon it's going to go over to paid. But let's see, RD Closet. Is that what it is? Yeah. So I've got closet rod system. And we're going to need this one, closet rod and shelf with support. So there we go. Let's just center this over this guy right here. And we will, I'll throw in a bracket. And then let me turn off bumps, F11 key, hold my C key for concentrically resize. And we should get a pretty decent looking closet rod there. There we go. That's a lot better. Could do rod end caps. I should do that. I should add that rod end caps to this, because that would look a lot nicer if we got some end caps on there. So, yeah. Yeah, boy, these shelves, what was I doing when I made these? These don't actually support the shelf. What the heck is that? How come no one mentioned that? What an idiot. Really? Yeah. My shelf supports don't support the shelf. What an idiot. Well, we're going to have to redo, you know me, I'm going to redo that later, because that's dumb. That's really dumb. I wonder what I was thinking there. Okay, so I think, with the exception of these bunk beds needing to get get actually designed out. I think that this is ready for a re-export. Now I don't want to do it with this because the roof's off, right? So I got to do a full perspective overview, redo. Let me see if I can get this webcam back up. Hey, webcam's back up. All right. Hi, guys. Let's see. All right. All right. My ramblings. Keep rambling. Okay. That's good notes. I like that. All right. So export. And I mean, keep in mind, I'm trying to train myself into doing this. I really hate touching my keyboard. As soon as I move my hands to my keyboard, I'm not happy. So there's a little food for thought. But I like to train myself to learn this stuff right here, which is Alt F gets me to my file menu, E for export, and I believe it's D for 3ds export. I have missing material files that I don't care about. And then this is when it's helpful to go in and delete all these materials. So instead of just wildly grabbing at everything in this file, let me group by type, because Windows Explorer, why not? And then I can go to the JPEG section and Shift select all this and delete it. Bam, bam, bam. Yes, yes, yes. Delete all that. Yep. Quit asking me. And there we go. That should have been it. So let's see what that does to Twinmotion. So export 3ds, it's going to come up with some errors. Missing material files or things exceeding the export limit for vertexes, such as any kind of Kohler items, typically end up being problematic. I hope you guys can hear me. I feel like I'm losing my voice. There we go. Stella couch. Oh, so the couch exceeded it. Yeah. K7 is some kind of Kohler item, and then some missing textures. Yep. Yada, yada. So I'll resave this. And then boot up Twinmotion. And by now we got plenty of memory leaking happening, which means computer's just going to keep slowing down. Okay. Let's open our scene back up. Ooh. If you guys have seen that art catalog I have for sale in the shop for Chief, this is one of the paintings right there. In fact, I think I put it in this project. Okay, we got missing files like crazy. Look at all those missing files. Bop, bop, bop. So let's click open. And here's a trick with Twinmotion. You only need to, direct it to the folder, that 3ds folder, because it should be in here, right? If we open it up, let's see. Yeah, I mean, those are all, boy, it seems a little light on the material files actually, which is strange that it would be so light. Let's see what happens. I feel like we're missing a lot of textures actually. So anyways, select folder, and it doesn't give you any update here, right? It doesn't like all of a sudden take away all these little errors, right? Which is weird. But then press OK, and then that list will be truncated. But I will say we're still missing a ton of files. I don't know why that export, I don't know, a lot of stuff still missing. It's weird. Not sure why. I'm just going to say OK and see what happens. See how much stuff we're actually missing. Yeah, this is weird. We're missing a bunch of material files now. Not great. Not a great thing. Look at that. Everything's missing. Kind of strange. So let's see if I can just refresh the 3ds file here and see what happens. Look at that. So a lot of them came back in to shot. Now here's the test. Let's check this flooring material. Yeah, see, this has been reverted back. So that trick didn't work, unfortunately. Although you notice here, some of the materials retained, right? This gold actually looks like it's supposed to look. So it's a very strange thing in Twinmotion. I really don't know what the trick to it is. It has something to do with the UV mapping and its association with the original material files that I just don't get. I don't understand it. And there's nothing in the documentation. There's no way to know when you're going to lose something or retain something. So it's very strange. Let's kick that make sure that landscaping's still all there. Yeah, it's still there. Okay. All right, let's take a look at upstairs. See what we can do with these showers. Wait, look at that whitewash. It just looks so terrible. So, and then you throw in some lights in here, and then all of a sudden the color warmth comes in too heavy. It's a funny beast, this software. All right, so before I even start throwing things in here, I want to make sure that I'm keeping this really well organized. So scene graph, create subcontainer from one. And then I need to right click on this, set active container. And then when I place this recess light here, it's going to make sure that it goes inside of that bathroom one. What did you ask? Did you delete it with the JPEG? Well, yes, I did. But there's still something about it. I haven't been able to figure out how to retain all of my custom materials when I'm re-importing or resyncing, I should say. So some of them get retained, some do not, and I don't understand what the algorithm is and how to avoid it. I thought maybe I did, but I definitely did not. So somehow we just zoomed out of the scene. That's annoying. But you can always right click on an object and say zoom to that selection, get you right back in that scene. I have my 3D mouse set to do a couple of cool things here. One of which is being able to quickly switch to what they call a rotate gizmo. I like to call it, your overall movement gizmo. There's no reason I would ever switch to, let's see, I think the number 9 key, 10, 0 key, 8 key, 7 key. I would never use the 7 key. I don't know why they even have it. It's redundant to our 8 key. It does less functions than our 8 key. So it's really strange to me. Unless you just don't want to accidentally click on some of these other items in the gizmo, then maybe you want to, be able to move just based on like this quadrant and then rotate based on that as well. So in a single plane, but overall, I'd much rather be on this gizmo. I think it's easier to grab the end arrows anyways. So I'm just going to hold my shift and drag this out, and I could either make a copy or an instance. In this case, an instance is just fine. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to hold my shift key. I'm going to hit that center node of the gizmo, which means that it will place based on the mesh's orientation that I'm placing it on. So you can see here, it's kind of pitched that to the roof now, which is perfect. And then maybe one more here. Bring it over in the walkway a little bit more. Sure, instance is fine. And then I'm going to add some additional lights here up to these vanities. Grab this guy. I like to place 2 of these because they are set to cast shadows. I might just click in front here and then do another one right here, and it's going to look nice. It's going to fight its own shadows to some extent. We need to get a mirror material on these mirrors, which is in the glass section. Mirror, reflective glass mirror. There we go. And then I want to get a, well, let's see. I think it's in the tools section, reflection probe. We're going to do a box reflection probe here. And I want to make sure that I'm limiting the size of that reflection probe because it can mess with a few things that you might not want to mess with. Excuse me. Because it's going to mess with the outside windows at this size. So I might change this back down to 1.5 meter. So it's just inside of the windows outside, maybe 1.2, 1.1. Here we go. It's a little better. And now we have reflection, right? Oh, there we go again. Boy, isn't that weird? Oops. Zoom to selection. All right. So now let's start doing something about this tile. And I think I have a brief to look at. Oh, this is the other room. This is the room that's starting to look good. Obviously, the cabinet color and the countertop color is all wrong. Let's pull up a brief, see what we got going on here. Oh, let's see. Oh, so they've got that wood flooring coming in there. I'm not going to be building this light. I built them one custom light. That's about all they had in their model budget. That was for downstairs. Boy, they have a bunch of spec here that doesn't look anything like what they provided. I'm going to have to reach out to them, actually. This is a little bit much. This is way off of the model. Isn't that funny? This is so different from the model. None of this stuff is represented in the model. I have to charge them a buku bucks for all this. Maybe we'll create this texture, though, real quick, huh? What do you think? Let's take a look at this. Or I think I might have something very similar. Kind of cool, though. I like that. That's really cool. What do you think? Should we make this? I think so. Hey, Caesar. How you doing, man? I haven't forgot about you. Guys, if you're watching this, Caesar, I hope you don't mind me even mentioning this. I've still been thinking about devices that you might be able to use. I've got some ideas, but they're not formulated yet. So Caesar's got some handicaps for using some of these softwares that are very limiting. So got to come up with some new device ideas to make it more efficient and to use these softwares. All right, so I want to try making this. I could just save from here, but I'm finally back at my house. It's been forever since I've been at my house, which means that I'm on a 4K screen again, which is awesome. And one thing I know I can do is I can do screen clippings on my 4K screen and know that the clipping itself is the highest resolution that I would want it to be. I have not had that in 7 months. So it's a nice little workflow improvement. So here, we'll make a texture out of this. This is kind of cool. I like it. So Control N for new. We're going to say we're going to keep the clipboard size. We're going to paste. Here we go. Now, what's up next? Want to do an offset. So filter other offset. And then let's kind of pop this around and let's see how this looks when it's trying to tile. And it actually looks not too bad. Honestly, it doesn't look bad at all tiling. So let's look at up and down. Up and down actually looks not too bad either. That's really impressive. All right, so I'm going to press OK and going to get over to the patch tool. And I want to just kind of hand draw this out. Oops, that was terrible. Let's add to it right here and here. There we go. And we can subtract from it using the Alt key. Oops. Add to it using the Shift key. Subtract. And all I want to do is I want to drag this over now and kind of pull from another section, kind of line this up. Something like that. And it will get close. It won't be perfect, but it will get close. And then I might do something similar here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's just fix this little section here. And maybe we'll grab, I don't know, something down here to match it up. Sure. And then maybe we'll just start messing around with our clone stamp. In typical Rabbit fashion, I'm spending more time than I need to at this. Something like that. Yeah, more or less. We've got some really dark tiles right here. Might want to just replace one of those entirely with a light tile. I forgot how to use this. I don't know why. I'm struggling. Why am I forgetting how to increase the size of my brush? What's wrong with me? Can't do it. I swear it was Alt. Weird. Maybe we'll just do bracket up. There we go. Here, it wouldn't let me change. Okay. All right. There's our base tile. Close enough. Let's do Control J, and we're going to do a high pass filter, other high pass. This is going to be my bump map. I'm going to need to get rid of that white because otherwise it's going to create a lip in the bump. So adjustments, replace color, and target this white and leave the fuzziness up so that it grabs similar colors, and then start turning down that lightness so that we just get a black and gray map there. Something like that. I'm going to click the plus and sample this little light gray section there. There we go. That should be it. There's our bump map. Sweet, done. Now with Twinmotion, it's really beneficial to create a normal map, which you can't do in Photoshop anymore without crashing the program. Unfortunately, it just doesn't support the new, what is it? A switch from OpenGL or whatever that was. I used to know this stuff really well. Now I don't. Anyways, there's our bump map. That bump map, if we Control J it and then Control I it, invert it, that's also, here's your roughness map, right? So pull this roughness, pull that middle one bump, pull that first one diffuse. Okay. And all three of these get to get exported. We need to figure out what the original name was for that. Zellige. Z-L-E, copy. Okay. So back, grab all these, export. And here's what I typically do is for the diffuse map, I'm going to keep this the same resolution that it is right now. For the bump and roughness map, I'm going to limit these back down to, say, like a 768 resolution. That just keeps your secondary maps nice and light while your primary map has a lot more texture quality to it. So export from here and then get into my materials catalog, into tile section, and we're going to Control new, we'll paste Zellige tile, okay, and then select this folder and it's going to export. Now I want to open up Adobe Bridge. I like to use Adobe Bridge to rename this stuff, so I'll do that in a second. I'm also going to bring back our Windows Explorer, hit the plus icon, and let's get into, frequent websites. No, assets, work assets, Photoshop, assets, normal map online. Here we go. So I can bring up that folder that has that newly created maps that I just made, and we're just going to get in from Adobe Bridge. It started with a Z. There we go. I can grab this bump map, drag it over to here, and look at that. Simple enough. I didn't notice that Twinmotion works better with the SCHARR filter. Seems to work a lot better in Twinmotion for some reason. I don't know why. So anyways, there's our new normal map. We can adjust its strength if we need to. We can adjust its level if we need to. Of course, you can do that with some of the other features in Twinmotion. I'm going to adjust it a little bit here. Actually, Twinmotion really is light on normal map effect, I find. So maybe I'll do a little heavier than I normally would. And then keep it nice and a little bit sharp. Now I can download it. I want to download it as a JPEG. I don't want a PNG. And I can just rename it to normal and send it to that folder. Zalige. Okay, normal. Now in Adobe Bridge, I want to select all these. And I'm going to batch rename. This is why I like this workflow. It works really well for me. So I want the current file name in its original case, and then I'm going to add some text. Actually, let me try this the other way around. So current file name, original case, text. The text I'm going to add is that Z, what is it called? ELIIGE. And then hyphen. And you can see the preview, if you can see the preview down here at the bottom. Current file name is bump. It's going to change it to zalige-bump. 4 files will be processed. Yes, batch rename. There we go. So it automatically renamed all that stuff for me. Great. It's exactly what I wanted. Now back in Photoshop, one last thing I want to do is get to that diffuse channel, and I have an action here. And so in my action, I've got an icon generator. Now I don't want to crop this. I'm going to leave it at this full size right here. So I'll skip the first section of the action, move to the next section, hit play, and it's going to prompt me to save. And what it's done is it's created an icon for this texture. So I'm going to name it zalige.ico. That's okay. And shut down Adobe Bridge. Don't need that anymore. But I do want to open up File Explorer, navigate to that folder one more time, and I'm going to right-click, Properties, Customize, Change Icon, Browse, and then I navigate to it one more time and find the icon I just created. Bam. Press OK, apply, OK. And now what will happen when I refresh this, there we go. So this is a folder icon now. We're looking at the folder icon. So kind of clever. Now we know what's exactly what's in that folder. If I ever need to modify this, change some color around it, you know, any number of things I might want to do. We can shut down Photoshop. Don't need it anymore. Oops, let's cancel that. Sure. Shut this down. And what do we have? So that was some kind of tile. Let's see what it looks like in Twinmotion. Let's apply it to one of these. See how well we did. And maybe for once, I will actually save the folder path here so we can stop trying to navigate to it. That would have made sense a long time ago. All right, so there's the diffuse texture. Looks all right. We're probably going to scale it up a little bit. Might add a little bit of grunge to it just to give it a little variation. Okay, pump that reflection up to 50%. Click more, and we can find our reflection map, our roughness map in this case. Hit settings, more on bump, open up our normal. Yeah, normal's looking pretty good. You can see here though that the normal picked up something kind of funny. There's some bumping at the edges, which is too bad. I have to go back and fix that. So I don't know, something to note. If we wanted to turn parallax on and even mess with the intensity some more, we can load up our bump map, and then you might even be able to get some, some weird height this way. Now, another thing we could have done in Photoshop, let's just open this up one more time. We really could have gotten some kind of cool standoff stuff here. I'm holding control and then mousing up here. So in our bump map in Photoshop, check this out. Let's do a little trick. This is something that's native to Twinmotion that you can't find in Chief, which is I'm going to create some real variation in height. Hopefully, I might just do it with a square brush because these lines don't seem to be quite containing, or maybe I'll just make them containing. We'll do a little tweak here with curves and see if we can't get those hard edges to show up and get some contained squares. There we go. So that worked a little bit. And then unlock this layer, and I'm just going to use the paint bucket tool, and we'll get into a lighter gray color, much lighter, and we'll paint some of these squares out. Hit that a few times. Hit this one a few times. Might need to just do a little bit of cleanup. Let's see. Let's do. This is a 4-quadrant. Oh, that didn't work. Let's do this one. That didn't really work either. That's okay. We can do these two. And you're going to see what this does. It kind of lifts these sections out a little bit. Yeah, let's just stick with that. So we'll export this, and this is going to be displacement from bump. So back in Twinmotion, we'll change our height map to that one. And what that should have done is just create a little bit of relief in places. And now we can kind of play with our bump height. Let me mess with scale so we can kind of see this a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. It's not bad looking. Not sure how long that took. What, 20, 30 minutes? Get a new material, 20, 30 minutes. Still got to fix this little weird relief at the edges. But yeah. Guys, I'm feeling a little worn out. Anybody have any specific questions? I might go take a break. It's two different asphalts, and they look exactly the same. Okay. Nope. Okay. Thank you, unnamed person. Appreciate it. Yeah, I need to get some food. I'm feeling very weak, but I don't know. Better every day. This stuff's, oof, man. Don't get COVID. It's not fun. Take a nap. All right. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I'll be back. I'll have to show you guys updates to this when it's done. I think I've got, I don't know, 4 more hours into this and then I'll be done. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it always. See you guys again soon.